Welcome to the Spittin Hedge betting stream hosted by yours truly, Kenneth Cotto from the Competitive Hedge podcast. I am joined by my co-host today, Spittin Picklets, aka Tyson Cole. How we doing, bud?
What's going on, everybody? Excited for this huge slate. I can't believe the games are so damn early.
Yeah, I mean, you're up at 8 o'clock on your coast, but we also got a special guest joining us here today because we might be a little bit lighter on the guest side of things, but we definitely have one of the best hockey cappers in the space. He does a lot of stuff internationally, a lot of CHL as well, and we're going to chat some NHL with him today as well. That's Bet on Banana. How are we doing today, bud?
Geez, you guys are flattering me with the compliments. I'm doing good, guys.
Also known as Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide, stole that name from my good pal Pitbull.
From all that time you guys have spent hanging out together, right? So
yeah, all those times in the clubs in Miami.
So we're going to chat about a few things today before we get into the betting slate. I mean, we have a lot of early NHL today, which is why we're up so early giving out plays. Didn't feel right doing an afternoon stream when you're going to miss half the games. So let's chat quickly first, because I know that I didn't watch these, but I'm sure that you guys did. How was the All-Star festivities?
Well, the skills were kind of a joke. Definitely. I can't believe that there was a market for that breakaway challenge when all it was a joke. Marner came in dressed as Miami Vice and then went in on Roberto Luongo and just flipped the puck up for a save. It was so easy. And then Ovechkin brings his kid on. It's obviously he's going to win. I don't know. That part was dumb to me. Fastest skater. They need to just, instead of making the turns, because how exciting was it to see Cale Makar go first, open up the whole thing, and then he just takes a tumble after the first turn. Didn't like it. Only thing I did like, and it should be a staple, is the hardest shot because, PD won. So keep that in. That's the best part of the skills competition.
Banana, did you tune into any of the stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple plays on it. We had Kirill for the fastest skater. He got voided. Unfortunately, he didn't get to go. Kind of looking forward to him going. And then we got, Elias Peterson winning us the hardest shot. And then we lost our bet on the accuracy competition. I think we took Barkov. We took the hometown boy. So, it didn't do that bad. It was a fun event. A lot of mixed opinions on it. Some people thought it was kind of childish, but you know what? I actually kind of liked the way that they're moving forward with the All-Star game. I think it's more inclusive and, they're adding fun little things for the kids. This isn't about the adults for this event, right? It's all about the kids. So I think it was a good event. Fun to tune into. It's definitely not fun having games for not having games the whole week, but we get through it.
Yeah, I think NHL has one of the better All-Star weekends. I mean, football's awful.
Better, I was gonna say better than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, basketball is usually fairly solid. The game itself is usually pretty good, but the slam dunks kind of hit and miss. And baseball, I don't watch baseball, so I don't really care about there.
Oh well, the home run derby has to be the best. All of the competitions.
I mean, does a good home run derby beat a good slam dunk contest?
Yes, slam dunk contests suck now.
Well, I think the only thing you get rid of in the All-Star game is that goalie skills competition.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to watch UC Saros miss the net for 15 minutes. That took way too long.
Okay, so we're going to dive in. Let's chat about a couple trades that happened over the last little bit here. One of them involving one of our own teams here. So let's chat first about the Horvat trade. Islanders obviously get Horvat. Vancouver gets Bolivier, or however the hell you say it, Ratty, and a conditional first. How we feeling?
Well, obviously it sucks to let him go, but it's something that this front office has never done. We've just kept players and then end up re-signing them for way too long and way too much money, like Lou Lamoriello just did, apparently. First round pick, I like. I'm starting to believe that we're going to end up getting it this year. For those who don't know what the condition is, it's a top 12 protected. And if they do finish in the top 12, we get next year's pick. So which I don't mind. Like, it's a deep draft this year, so we're going to get a great player, even if it's between 12 and 16 if they may miss the playoffs. Beauvillier, I mean, everyone was on Horvat. Like, Banana was mentioned in the spaces. Everyone was on Horvat. No one was on Beauvillier. He actually scores the game winner against his old team. No one thought that was going to happen. He seems to have some okay chemistry so far with Petey, so I don't mind it. He's a good young player. And then Atu Ratu, like, if he can become what he was after his draft year, I'd be pretty excited about that. Like, he was supposed to go first overall and then just had a really, really bad draft year. And then the next year was put up a point per game in the same league. So maybe it was just 1 year and he can bounce back to it. He's already played like 12 NHL games, so we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Bet?
Yeah, I think that trade was kind of almost felt like a forced trade for the Islanders. I don't know if this is gonna pan out for them in the long run, but they're definitely looking to squeak into the playoffs this year with this trade. Horvat's a huge guy in the locker room, adds a lot of character to your dressing room. So I like the trade for the Islanders now, but when production falls off, I think it's really going to hurt them. But the Islanders always seem to do this, like, smaller market team and going after the big fish, and then they're going to lose them. It's sad, but he's just going to end up rotting in New York, just like the rest of them, right?
Question.
I mean, I will say this much. The Islanders, they're 25th in goals per game, so they kind of had to make a move because that's been like the one thing that's hurt them this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sorokin hasn't even been that bad. It's just he gets no goal support. Like, he's like 500 in almost 40 starts, but he's also like a 2.41 goals against. So he's
he got 5 goals the other night and still couldn't pull the dub. So can't be that good.
You're really banking on that one regular season win, as a Canucks.
Well, everyone was doubting us. I have a question. So if the Islanders are going to make the playoffs, who do you think misses the playoffs? Because looking at the standings now, I don't think
the Islanders make the playoffs.
No, me neither.
I think they sneak in and that Washington falls off.
I think it's like a hope and a prayer that we see, the Pens and the Caps, and people want to see that, but I just don't see it in the Islanders. If you're not scoring goals, you're not winning games, and the other teams are scoring goals. So watching Islander games, man, you need like I think Bizanet said it, like you need like a Red Bull.
Yeah,
you can't stay up and watch an Islanders game without falling asleep.
Yeah,
that's fair. They're gross. I don't know. I'm not really that hopeful that Washington gets in. I know that everyone wants to see Ovechkin and Crosby in the playoffs another time, but I don't know. I'm kind of over it at this point. I'd be okay if the Islanders pulled it out. Now, I mean, they're 1 point back, but Washington's got 2 games in hand on them, and Pittsburgh's got 4. So they're obviously going to need to have a great push over the next 27 games if they're going to get in. They're going to have to win a ton. So they are kind of on the outs right now, which was my team, honestly, that I wanted to watch out for in the second half of the year, just to see if adding Horvat's enough for them to kind of get over the hump and get into the playoffs. But maybe another move coming for the Islanders at the deadline or something. Tarasenko wise, he's heading to the Rangers along with Nico Mikkola. St. Louis gets back Sammy Blais and Hunter Skinner. So I guess I'll start with you, Spittin. What do you think of it?
So actually, since we started with me because Vancouver was my team, Banana's team is actually the Rangers.
Is it really? Okay,
so
go for it.
Start with Banana.
How we feeling, Rangers?
I'm loving it. We got to see him score like 2 minutes in.
You loved it 3 minutes into the deal.
I think he got he's in the top 5 for players acquired by the Rangers and scoring on their debut. Another cool stat is Sammy Blais hasn't scored in 54 games for the Rangers, and it took Tarasenko 3 minutes. So I'm loving it.
That's an upgrade, I guess.
Kind of sad to see the Instagram for St. Louis say first look at Sammy Blais in a jersey, because they actually did see him in a jersey. They actually acquired him in the draft. So
yeah, that's a bad
they
look.
Forgot about that, which is kind of sad. Kind of really bad look, right? I mean,
Yeah. They traded Sammy Blais to the Rangers for Buchnevich. And
he
then
wasn't like a nobody. Like he got drafted as like a somebody.
yeah, he was good. He was
So
good
yeah,
on
there
that
must have
cup
been
run.
some. Sorry, go ahead.
He was good on that cup run. Like I remember he was still on that team. Like I think he was just making it in like third line, but he was hitting everybody.
Yeah, that's what he is, right? He's just a human bowling ball on the
Yeah.
ice, running around, and he's kind of like a grinder.
Yeah.
He's not a goal scorer, but I'll take Tarasenko, please. I like him with Panarin a lot. I mean, last night we kind of got to see that chemistry really, come to fruition right away, which was cool. I mean, it's kind of been like the talk of the Rangers in the works. Like, what are we going to do for the trade deadline this year? Because I mean, obviously we were buying, and then it was who are we going to be selling for this player? And the fact that we got to keep Kakko, Kravtsov, Lafreniere. I mean, obviously, I think Lafreniere, Kakko were completely off the market, but even guys like Zach Jones. I mean, he's tearing it up in the AHL right now. Nobody's talking about it. And you know what? He might be a sneaky addition come playoff time. So I love the move, and then you're adding a great defenseman as well. You're giving up a first round pick that is conditional. I mean, like they have 2 first rounders, so they have options, and they've really left themselves open with the cap space, and they might even be able to re-sign him. It's like the options are pretty much unlimited. They left the door open, so that's the best part about this trade. And then look at St. Louis's side, and they got pretty locked up with what they got in return. Looks like they're going into a full rebuild, and I mean, Tarasenko's gone, Kiss Riley gone, goodbye, and I think Buchnevich might even go. Like they're just going to be selling everything.
Yeah, I think they'll be deadline sellers for sure. This is kind of just the first piece to go.
I
Okay,
definitely think it was a bad deal for the Blues.
You think they could have got more?
Oh, for sure. So the condition is they get the later of the 2 first-round picks that the Rangers have. It's like usually it's the other way around. Like that sucks. They retain 50% on Tarasenko, which I mean it's only for 1 year, but still. And then Hunter Skinner, like he's not an A prospect, and Sammy Blais, you're just getting back. Who's just going to rot in your third line? Don't know. Don't like it. Don't see like really any upside. See, I don't know if you're going to be able to sign Tarasenko though, Banana, because like you got guys like Filipino who are really taking a big step up, who you're going to have to give a lot of money to, and same with Keandre Miller. So I don't know where you would fit him in, really.
Yeah, he'd have to take a pay cut, and then you'd have to see some kind of movement. I mean, I actually don't expect this to be the end of the trade deadline for the Rangers. I mean, if they really want to go all in, they have the pieces to send out there to bring back even more this year. If they really want to put push all the chips in.
Yeah, I don't understand how they didn't give up like one of their best prospects in this deal like that.
Kind of want to talk about the Kane situation there for a second. He was kind of salty on Twitter about not going to the Rangers, and
I would be
like,
too.
hey man, like take the 90% retain from Chicago and come our way. We'll take you.
Okay, so we kind of already touched on it, but team that could make a late season push. I obviously gave the Islanders. Are you guys locked in on like who's in the playoffs right now is going to be there at the end of the year? I'll start with you, Spittin.
So I got one. It's more who I think is gonna miss the playoffs, and someone gets in over them. Then I think this team will actually like push forward to make it. I think the Kraken are done. I think they're falling off a cliff. I don't know what happened at the start of the year, how they were so good, but things have changed. They're not the team that they weren't once were. They're not getting that crazy Martin Jones goaltending. I think the Flames might make that late season push, because honestly, like looking at the wild card standings, like the Flames are the only other team that I could see in the playoffs. I can't see Nashville making it, and then the Blues, Canucks, and everybody else are selling. So the West is almost pretty much locked up. So maybe that's a bad take, but
The only thing helping Nashville is they got a couple games in hand right now, so they could jump up into the consideration. But I agree.
Mhm.
I don't really see them as a playoff team. I think if we're looking at anyone in the West, it would be Calgary to hop up. I don't know if it's necessarily the Kraken for me. Probably the Wild, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I could see it for sure. Like I think that there's definitely a couple teams that have maybe overplayed their depth early in the year and maybe post All-Star break. I mean, that's the thing. We still need to see what happens at the deadline. There's going to be some teams obviously that'll buy or sell,
Mhm.
and then we'll have a bit of a better idea. But I would agree there. Banana, any teams for you that are kind of on the outs right now that you can see making a push?
Yeah, man, I actually have my power rankings like on my whiteboard beside me, and I'll just kind of read them off with what I see and just the little notes that I have beside it. So, I mean, in the East, I mean, we're pretty locked up in the top like 5, and then, even Rangers at 6, they got like a 95% statistical chance of making it. So, just gonna put them up there. So really, you're fighting with 2 spots over in the East. You got the Penguins and the Capitals, right now with 61 and 60 points. And you have the Islanders, 59. You got Panthers, 58. And then I actually have Buffalo. And this is a sneaky pick. And I've kind of got pretty spicy with it. And I got Buffalo to actually sneak in, if any team. I actually have this deadlocked at where it's at right now. I think the teams that are in there are going to be the ones in there come playoff time. And the only team that I have with the potential of actually making it through is the Buffalo Sabres. And my reasoning on this is because they have so much cap space that I think there's a big trade coming. I think Patrick Kane ends up in Buffalo. I think someone else ends up in Buffalo. And I think that's kind of like the attraction for Kane. Like someone else is going to have to go, and then he's going to go. And you're going to see all the kind of like chips fall into place for Buffalo. Such a terrible run in the NFL this season. Give them hockey. So I actually have Buffalo as the only sneaky team, and that's just like a one-off. Like, you know what I mean? Like if something happens, it can be them maybe, just because they have so much room and space, right?
They could definitely
And
make
then
a lot of moves, and then they also have games in hand as well.
if
The
they
only
get
thing
if they
is,
get a goalie too, man, like they're set.
we got Demko. They got a million prospects. Let's kiss a little bit, you know.
Is Demko gonna push you through?
Demko was sick in the bubble playoffs, and then he
I
was
mean,
good
it's better
last
than
year.
Comrie and old man Anderson.
Yeah,
that's true.
definitely. Like
And then
if we could pull a trade, give me Devin Levi and like another smaller D prospect. We'll give you Demko. I'm happy.
hey, GM Spittin over there.
Yeah, GM mode, baby. Let's do it.
And then on the other side of things, I mean, that's where it gets interesting, right? You look at the West, and you're actually, it's a little bit of a fight. And I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be the Flames sneaking in there. But I don't know who bounces out, man. Like Seattle, I want to say they could bounce out with the way that they're playing right now. And 65 points to Minnesota's 58 and Calgary's 58. It's just in the NHL, that's like one little hot run and you're back in it. So, I mean, you're looking at teams like Dallas, Vegas, Winnipeg, Edmonton. Those guys are locked in. Those guys are definitely going to be in there, and they're going to be at the top of the West. And it's got to be Calgary for me. It's not Nashville. It's not St. Louis.
It's not Vancouver.
Yeah, the list stops there, honestly. Like,
You know what?
and
Good. Lose. I don't care.
it even kind of stops at St. Louis. Like, I mean, I had them to make the playoffs at the start of the year, and that's the only team that, and Calgary that isn't in it. So, I mean, kind of a weird season over in the West, man. Like, if you want to look at the odds, I bet you it's like minus 180 for an East Coast team to win this year.
Yeah,
probably. It just seems like all the West teams are trading all their good players to the East.
Yeah,
and then it
seems like the West Coast teams are like playing the new version of hockey where it's open, there's goals, and then you go look at like teams like Boston, and they're still playing like we did in the 80s, man. Like they're playing like 1-2 goal games, defense, and let your goalie, close it out. Like it's totally different. Like watching the late night games, it's like goals, goals, goals.
Oh, it's
But in
like
the early
6-4,
slate,
but then the early slate's 3-2.
yeah, and you're like sweating out like a regulation bet or something. But it's like Boston with like 3 minutes left. You're like, they do this all the time.
I think I've had like 6 regulation bets like crash in the last 2 or 3 weeks just on like a last minute or 2 goal. So
Yeah, like
I'm
a tip in front.
That if Boston didn't win a single game the rest of the season, they'd still finish above 500 in points percentage.
I think I've seen something like with Chicago's win yesterday. They still got playoff hopes alive.
I put out the Blackhawks as an official show play yesterday. I couldn't believe that I did that.
Dude, I was driving home last night and I was, let's put in a little like $5 live bet, see if it pays for the gas on the ride home. Threw it on Arizona, lost instantly. Like literally put it in and it grayed out and they scored. And I was like, what?
I even said yesterday morning, I think that this is the only opportunity for me all year to pick Chicago. So I'm going to do it and see what happens. And it ended up paying. So I'm 1-0 on Blackhawks bets this year. Okay, so let's chat.
I wouldn't bet anymore.
No, I'm going to stay at 1-0 and say that I was undefeated betting on Chicago this year. That's it. Okay, so we got to chat about the slate today. Obviously, we got a big co-host rivalry game to start things off. We got Vancouver and Detroit. Obviously, we're in the you got the Canucks jersey in the back. I've got the Red Wings sweater on. Vancouver coming off that 6-5 win on Thursday. We also beat Calgary 2-1. Both teams are 4-5-1 in the last 10. Spittin, are you betting this game today?
Probably not. I looked into player props, but there's really like nothing that stands out to me. And quite frankly, as a Canucks fan, I don't want to bet on any of their games because
you don't want to win.
I don't want to win. So maybe what? Like if I bet against my team, I'm gonna get fucked. So
yeah, I feel like I'm going to as well. But to say what some of the great cappers in the space say, this is my mega goat whale play today of Red Wings money line. Red Wings money line. That's it. Just for fun. Just so I can tune in early or late morning and hopefully see a win. Banana, anything for you on this game?
No, I didn't really like this one, especially since time's kind of crunched on this. I don't think anyone's really got to the window yet on this, but I said it for the last like 3 or 4 games for Vancouver. I don't think they really get back on track until they get back home. So this road trip, I've been just completely fading them. I want to pull the trigger on the Red Wings, but when I seen the line, I was like, wow, I really like the plus sign on Vancouver. So I'm not playing this. Torn on both sides of this. An over under at this early in the morning in fucking Detroit. Like, yeah, is this game in Detroit? It's in Vancouver.
It's in Detroit.
Okay, I was gonna say if it's in Vancouver, it's way too early for an over, but it's still pretty early over here. 12 o'clock noon game. I'm staying off an over under and a side here.
So I just looked it up. I'm gonna kind of be doing this while we go through all the games, but Detroit's won 2 straight, and it's actually gone under 5.5 in 9 of the last 10 matchups. But with Vancouver being 9-1 to the over 5.5 in the last 10. I ain't touching that. So
fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna toss 2 units on Detroit because I'm a homer, and
God,
just I'm throwing money on my team tonight. When we get to the Rangers game, I mean they're plus like 165 tonight, but I'm throwing $10 on them. Why not?
I mean, I'm gonna rub it in Spittin's face. Not that like he really cares if Vancouver loses, but like it's more so like paying for my bar tab later. So.
I will rub it in your face too when you beat us and we have a better pick than you. And we both still miss the playoffs. So.
And we both still miss the playoffs. Exactly. Okay, so that's the early game. Then we got 4 11:30 games. So we'll go Calgary and Buffalo. Calgary's -130 on the road. And then Edmonton and Ottawa. Edmonton's -145. Either of these games intrigue you? Banana, I'll start with you.
Yeah, man, I'm liking Buffalo. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger right now on them, plus 117.
Ooh.
I mean, not a crazy play, but fade the Flames, man, all season. I mean, I have not bet the Flames since like I want to say like November or something. So, I got my like what like 2 month coin, my sobriety coin from betting the Flames. So I got to go with the plus money here. With the team at home, like
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Calgary might be trying to make this push second half, but I just don't see the skill on their roster to do it.
So I liked Buffalo as well because Markstrom in his last 5 starts, he's lost all of them, and he's given up just shy of 4 per game in his last 5 starts. So he hasn't been great. Now he's got to go on the road where Calgary is a pretty bad road team this year. And so I just think it's a good home spot for Buffalo. Spitting anything on Oilers, Ottawa, or Calgary, Buffalo?
Nothing for Calgary Buffalo. I'll probably just maybe ride the Stabies on the money line. They're getting Tage Thompson back too, which is quite exciting. Props wise, something just to look at for because you can get I know we're fading the Flames, but you can get Huberdeau's point prop sometimes at like minus 140. I haven't checked what it is now, but he's got a 6-game point streak against them with 10 points, and in his last 21 games against the Sabres, he's got 31 points. So hopefully you can just play that as a straight. I haven't quite looked at it yet, but
You
I
can
can
get
just
his player prop on Bet99 at minus 127
for a point.
for a point.
He's got good history against him, man.
It's not bad.
That is not bad. Let me just look at how he's done lately at Props Cash.
So are we playing anything Edmonton, Ottawa wise? Because I think it's gross.
I mean, I'm actually playing this too. I like EDM this year. I think this second half is really important for them, just seating wise, with who they want to determine their first round matchup to be. And I think, McDavid and the boys are just going to be all business. And Ottawa is not a good team. I've been really trying to fade them a lot this year, just like Calgary. So, with these 2 early games, with these like 4 or 5 early games, I only liked 3 of them. I'm completely avoiding the Nashville Philly and the Detroit Canucks game. But I kind of like I don't know, like you could do EDM with some kind of like team total over like 2.5, bring it down a little bit. I don't want to pay 140 for these guys. You got to bring them down to like minus 120.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair price for Edmonton today. Not in rag. Not in rag. I'm not taking them in rag for sure.
No, and Ottawa, like they've won 4 in a row, but back-to-back wins over Montreal doesn't exactly inspire confidence that this.
You just won against an AHL team. Like, congratulations.
Yeah. And then you won a rivalry game against Toronto, which goes 50-50 most of the time, and then you beat the Islanders. So it hasn't been like a super impressive win streak by any stretch. Spittin, what you got?
I like the Oilers a lot too. They let me down last game, but I'm not scared to run it right back with them. I don't care that Ottawa's won 4 in a row, like you said, 2 against the Habs, and also they haven't played since the All-Star break, so it's been over a week now. Like, they're going to be a little rusty. Maybe a good look is actually taking the Oilers first period. Maybe money line. I don't know. I'm not a first period guy, but they're going to be a little rusty. I doubt they come off strong. Edmonton's also 8-0-2 in their last 10, and they've won 9 of the last 10 against the Senators. So
good track record.
Yeah,
I know that Banana doesn't have anything for Nashville, Philly. I don't either. Do you have anything there?
Any props I got? No, I don't really want to bet on this game either.
Okay, good call. And then we talked about that glorified AHL team. We got Islanders minus 210 against Montreal. Sorokin and Allen is expected. Montreal lost 4 in a row. Anything here that we like, Spittin?
Not money line wise or betting wise, but something I did notice is that Suzuki's cleared over 2.5 shots, and he's not a shooter. 5 of his 6 career games against the Islanders, and you can always get that at plus money. Oh, not today. What the hell? Never mind. Scratch that. I got nothing. I'm not betting on this game. Call the number if you are.
Oh man, I have to call the number because I actually was going to play Islanders and Reg minus 133.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm looking at Islanders and like under. We talked about it earlier. They
Like
play
just money
boring
line
ass
and then the
games.
under on the game.
Yeah, like taking under 7 maybe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see what it comes out to, but
I just get so worried taking an under on Montreal because I feel like they could give up 6 goals on their own.
they're so bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can do Islanders, and then I mean they're minus 225 on Bet365. I mean that's kind of a decent zone for a parlay piece if you want a same game something, but you're gonna have to look at something like under. Let's see. You could do under 7.5 and you get plus 125 still. You could take the 8, get even money. Take the 9.5, which I mean, Montreal should be able to hold under 9.5. Let's hope
if they
for
can
minus 120. I mean, I think that's fair. But then you could also go the team total route if you think they're just going to score. Islanders to win. Oh, that was in reg. My bad. Islanders to win just the game and team total over 3.5 is even money.
Yeah, that's not bad. To be honest, I was kind of leaning Islanders money line and then the over 5.5 and just have it be like a 4-2 final or 5-1 or something.
You could take the Islanders and the over 4.5 at minus 120.
That's not bad. I might even ladder it, do that, and then because at the 5.5 you get plus 175, which is a little juicy, but
You can always just take like Islanders and then Barzell or Horvat to get a point. And that
according to Spittin, I should be calling the number for betting on this game. So
you should.
It's not inspiring a lot of confidence here.
Right. Games are just so boring. Like the only way I want to bet on it is only way I want to watch it is if I have a bet on it. So just don't bet it so you don't have to put yourself through that suffering.
Okay, then 1 Eastern time. This is honestly probably the best game for me today. It's that Tampa Bay and Dallas game. Dallas are minus 125. Looks like we're getting Vasilevsky and Ottinger as of now. What are we thinking here? Any bets? Banana, I'll start with you.
I mean, I hate both of these teams right now. I cannot bet Dallas. It seems like they're losing the games like they should be winning, and maybe it's just because they're at the top of their conference and they just have a little bit of like swagger to them. Don't really need the points in the games right now. So I'm going to be staying off them. It's been a while since I played Dallas, and then the Lightning have been kind of a hurt piece for me as well. I mean, we all seen them get blown up earlier this week, and kind of been in like an up and down roller coaster for them. And then smashing the Avalanche, like it's weird what this team can do. Seems like it kind of they seem to come out when coaching is good. I find like if they need a game, like they go and get it, but for the most part they're pretty lackadaisical. So I'm just staying off both these teams, and I think it's going to go under.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say the under would be my really only lean. The Stars have gone under 5.5 and 7 straight in 2 out of the last 10. And we've seen this year that the Lightning can just shut it down and play defense. So that would be a lean. I don't know if I'm going to play it because unders just scare the shit out of me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have much for this game. I wish that it was 6.5, but we know with Ottinger and Vasilevsky that was never going to happen. So I just don't love the 5.5 here. And I think offenses are too good for me to want to bet an under here as well. So definitely going to stay away. Capitals and Bruins. Bruins are minus 190. Looks like we're getting Kemper and Ullmark. Anyone betting Washington and taking on that home record that Boston's got?
The 1% of people betting Washington today who accidentally
but then they'll
the
flex on
team.
everybody because they had Washington for some odd reason.
I mean, if you're betting Washington, just bet the Ovechkin goal. That's essentially a win for that team.
No, I just take the Bruins on On the money line is like a parlay piece, just because, like you said, their home record 22-1-3. That's wild. They've also won 3 of the last 4 against the Capitals.
I kind of like just taking like a Bruins money line with an Islanders money line. It's just like a little 2-teamer, just for
That's
fun.
not bad.
I'm gonna look up the odds
It's
here,
more.
but we'll move on.
Yeah, it's more fading the Habs there than taking the Islanders.
Yeah, I would agree. $10. Well, it's plus 122 for those two, just on the money line.
That isn't bad.
Then we've got a couple. Then we start getting into the evening slate. So we've got Colorado and Florida. Florida's minus 125, and then you've got Columbus and Toronto. Toronto minus 350 today. Anything on either of these games for you, Spittin?
No, I don't think so. We saw these two teams play yesterday. Toronto won 3-0. I could see maybe an over today. But that's really it. I'm not sure because I doubt we see Samsonov go back to back. I'm not sure who their third string goalie is. Maybe it's
it sounds like.
Okay. He's been doing good in the AHL, but it's the AHL.
Yeah.
Look,
well,
Columbus
he's playing an
is pretty
AHL
much
team.
An AHL team, yeah. So fair. Yeah, that was my only lean, like maybe the over. But yeah.
What about you, Banana?
For me, honestly, like, I mean, look at these goalies, right? You mentioned Allmark and Kemper. I mean, that's kind of it for me. I'm gonna side with Allmark and the Bruins. I think the Bruins can handle this in regulation. It's kind of been a square bet all season.
Yeah,
might be worth the stab. I mean, are you guys taking Washington or no?
No, I'm gonna take Boston.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Boston in regulation. I think this line's gonna move too. I think it's better than that Dallas game. It was kind of like, for me, I was like, do I play the Lightning at plus money or do I just take Boston and reg? And I like Boston and reg a little bit more.
So I just looked this up. If you think Boston's going to win and they're head to head against Washington, all 16 of their last 16 wins have come in regulation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it seems like they handle them pretty well.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Anything, Banana, for you on Colorado, Florida, or Columbus and Toronto?
For me, Colorado at the plus money against I'd say a struggling Panthers team who's looked good as of late. I don't think the Panthers are worth minus 140. And I think Colorado needs to get a win under their belt. And this team knows how to do it when they need it. So a little bit of a lean for them. I actually lean a little bit more to the over on this one. Looks like the books have it at a pick 'em. And then for Columbus and Toronto, I mean, same thing as yesterday. Toronto as a parlay piece. I used them with a Russian team. I got them to plus money again today. So just need them to win. And that'll do the trick for me. Probably not gonna have another play for this, like as a straight, just because my team won, so they got a solid 4-0 victory. I want the same thing from the Leafs, and I expect the same thing from the Leafs. Just a little bit scary with the back-to-back. These guys just played. Could be, a pissed off revenge spot for Columbus at plus 290. So just be wary. I mean, we've seen Toronto lose at minus 370 this year.
I kind of looked at Columbus plus 2.5. If you shop around, you can get minus 140, which is.
Dude, I would like 3.5 and like the under. This is going to be like a scrappy game. I don't think this goes over. I had the under last night, and when I turned on the game, it looked like Columbus was more worried about hacking and slashing instead of actually scoring. So kind of worked out for me.
Okay, so couple more that we'll go through. Rangers, Carolina. Carolina's minus 210. Obviously, they're juiced because it looks like Halak's going to go for your Rangers. And then New Jersey and Minnesota, Minnesota minus 125 here. Popular bet this year has obviously been New Jersey on the road because they've been really solid on the road. So that was kind of what I was looking at with them in Minnesota. Also, Minnesota has lost 3 straight, so they're not coming in rolling in that one. Spittin, I'll start with you. Anything on Rangers, Hurricanes, or Devils Wild?
Just some I thought of right now. Like I kind of like the over now that we see Halak in it. I know he's been better this season, but I expect the Carolina to get to him, and also the Rangers have scored 4+, and I think 6 straight, if that's right. So I mean that's a good look for the over. For the Devils, Minnesota. Usually I want to go for the Devils on the road, like you were saying, but something's really just drawing my eye today to the Wild. So I'm probably not touching that game. There's no Jack Hughes, and I don't know. I just don't. Jack Hughes was the best player on the road for them, and now that they don't have him, I don't know how they're going to do.
Fair enough. Anything for you, Banana, on either of those two?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start with the Rangers here, my team. I'm just sprinkling them just because they're my guys, right? And Halak is like, I think he's won his last like 6 or 7 in a row. Dude, I think he's one of the hottest goalies in the league right now, and no one's really talking about it because he's a backup to Igor. Igor definitely takes a lot of the limelight. So I mean, I want to say, this price is probably right, but the goaltending over in Carolina hasn't really been all that great.
No.
It's been more so the defense that's been keeping their the puck out of their net. And the Rangers have been scoring pretty at a pretty high rate in the last few games. So, I mean, shit, man, like it's kind of tough to like this team is playing like really, really, really good hockey at home, and now they have to go on the road. So, on a back-to-back here, especially. So, for me, just I like the plus sign on the Rangers. I think it should be a little bit lower, but ultimately, it's tough because it's my team, right?
Yeah.
For the what was the next game you had
Devils
on here?
Wild.
Oh, okay, Devils Wild. I have Arizona pulled up here. Let me pull. Yeah, so for this one, I have, I like the plus money on the Devils, but then you mentioned a good point, Spittin, like Jack Hughes is out. So how did they do last game? I didn't bet them, but I didn't.
So they played at home against the Kraken,
and they won.
They won.
Right?
Yeah, they won 3-1.
I mean, not really an impressive win.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a Kraken team that's meh. So I'm going to stay off this one completely. Wild have been kind of a wild team this year. They're either confidently winning or very confidently losing. So,
yeah.
Okay. We got 3 final games to go through, and then puck drop starts here in 10 minutes. So we'll bang out a quick parlay maybe at the end. So we got Arizona and St. Louis. St. Louis is minus 190 at home. Chicago and Winnipeg. Winnipeg minus 360. And then Pittsburgh and the Kings. Kings are minus 115 at home. As I said, I bet my Chicago quota for the year, so I won't be backing them against Winnipeg on the road today. St. Louis is also, as we know from this betting stream, has been like a fade for me for a while, so I'm staying away there. One pick that we did have submitted by Boomtown Pod was Kings money line at minus 115 that he really liked. Actually, sorry, that one was Walker Bailey. It was Boomtown Pod gave me Kuzmenko to score in the Detroit game, plus 165. So anything for you, Spittin, out of these last 3?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not betting on Arizona, and I can't bet on St. Louis now with no Tarasenko. And I'm not betting on Chicago, and I'm not slurping that 380 juice for the Jets on the money line. But I love that Kings pick. Pittsburgh played last night. LA's fresh, and I don't know. Like Pittsburgh's barely in the playoffs, but LA's like, oh wait, they're both in the same position. That's an L. Spittin. Come on. The Kings are a better team. Come on. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Okay. Anything for you, Banana?
Yeah, for these last three, dude, I've been saying this kind of all year. It's like we get good games at the start of the night, and then at the end of the night, it's like, shit, who do I take? Like it gets really dicey. So, I mean, in this New Jersey, sorry, in the Coyotes and the Blues game, um, nothing in this. This is two teams fighting for a draft pick. I don't really think these two teams care. I think it goes under. Honestly, I don't think they want to score. And
Okay.
you're losing a ton of offensive firepower in Tarasenko, and it's gonna mix up the lines and the chemistry over in St. Louis. It's gonna be a little bit weird for the next few weeks coming up the trade deadline. Guys wondering where they're gonna end up. And that's the same case for Arizona, obviously, like every season. And then we go up to Winnipeg. Yeah, no one's taking Chicago on a back-to-back plus 300 against Winnipeg.
No.
No. I hope
I
Winnipeg
don't think
figures it out.
I don't think anybody in their right mind is looking at Chicago, but I don't think anyone in their right mind would be looking at Winnipeg at minus 300 in the state in which this team is. I think I cursed them when I said this team's going to win their division, and then they went on a losing streak. And
Immediately after.
yeah, and a lot of people were saying that too. I seen a lot of guys were eyeing it up, and I never pulled the trigger, luckily. But I think this team wins tonight, but I think it's going to be a gutsy one. It's going to go under 6.5, in my opinion. A lot of unders tonight. Saturday night hockey. And, these guys are playing in the prime time of the games, prime time of the slate. It's going to be a battle. I expect at least one fight in this game. If you can bet one fight in this game between Chicago and Winnipeg, there's going to be one. There's some pretty big boys who like to chuck them. If you look at the team for Winnipeg, they're huge. If you look at their average size, I think they can really, bully Chicago tonight. So, Winnipeg as a lean. I'm not taking them as like anything. Not taking the minus 1.5. I'm not taking the in reg. I'm not taking the money line. Nothing on them. But Pittsburgh and Kings, you nailed it on the head. Penguins like really fell off for me. I just can't really back them these days. It was tough to back them last night. I put a live play on like the minus 3.5 and the over. I think it was like 6.5 at the time. And the Penguins couldn't even cover that, like against the Ducks. Like they just were like, yeah, sure, like score on us. Like we don't care. We already
They were
won.
winning 6-1 and then let two softies in.
Yeah, like I bet on it when it was like 4-1. So, just needed them to stay in the lead, and then they give up two softies at the end of the game. I don't like when teams do that. It's very like childish, like peewee hockey-ish, like you already got the game in the bag mentality. I hate that. So I'm not backing this team tonight. I think LA, I think the price on LA is going to jump. Once people start, getting through this slate and panicking, trying to find a late night save spot, I think it's going to be the Kings for a lot of people. So for me, I'm just going to probably stay off this one because I think a lot of public money is going to come in on the Kings. It's just going to be the simple like, oh, well, the Penguins are on a back-to-back and they're an older team.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, Phoenix Copley got a contract extension. He'll probably play tonight, and Jari's still hurt, so it's DeSmith, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is.
If it's DeSmith again, bro, that line is going to jump to minus 125.
Yeah, maybe even higher. And if it's not DeSmith, it's a third stringer. So
yeah. Okay, so let's cook up. We got 4 minutes here before puck drop of the first game. Let's cook up kind of our four favorites from the stream. I think Buffalo money line was one that Banana and I both liked.
Yeah, that was going to be my piece. I like that.
Canucks
I like
money line.
Edmonton at minus 136.
Canucks money line.
So no.
Okay.
Boston and Reg, I think we all liked against Washington.
Yeah,
So we need those three right now puts it at plus 585. Is there a fourth one that we like enough to put in there, or do we just settle on a 3-teamer and let it ride? Because I don't know if there was any other play that we like universally across the board really liked. So that's why I was asking.
I say I think it seems like we're reaching for one more.
I like the 3-teamer plus
Yeah,
585 is good.
I really like that. So I mean, Buffalo, they're plus money. So
Yeah, I've got Buffalo plus 119, Edmonton minus 136, and the Boston and Reg at minus 125 comes out to plus 585 on
Do we like the Canucks Detroit over?
No,
not really.
Too early.
Yeah, that's my concern. I find that when we get a lot of these like noon puck drops on the East Coast, then it ends up being like a 3-1 game. So I get concerned about that. Could just take Detroit money line and then we all profit, but I know that that's just not going to fly. Okay, well maybe we stick with the 3-teamer plus 585. It's got some good value. Anything else you guys want to chat about betting wise? Are we good to go? Go enjoy our Saturdays, some early puck, and even if you're a college basketball guy, we do have to talk about, I guess, to cap it off, who's winning the Super Bowl?
That's what I was going to say. We got to talk to Soupy.
Spittin, who's winning?
I've been back and forth. I don't know. Everyone likes the Eagles, so I'm going Chiefs.
Banana?
I was seeing the opposite. I see a lot of the money on the Chiefs. I actually put in they gave you like the $5 on DraftKings to put a same game together or whatever. And I just did Kelsey to get a touchdown, Jalen Hurts to get a touchdown, and the Eagles to win by minus 2.5. They're going to win by what I think is going to come down to a field goal that wins the Super Bowl. Very anticlimactic.
Okay. Oh, also, I just saw that Buffalo money line jumped to plus 121, so it's actually plus 592 now for the 3-teamer. I'm a Cowboys fan, so it's going to be a cold day in hell before I back the Eagles ever. I'll gladly lose money betting on the Chiefs, but if I go and bet on Philly and they win, then I'm not going to be happy. So I'm like, why would I do that to myself?
So some storylines here, like the Chiefs with this team, with this coach, have been there before. They've been to the Super Bowl. They know how it's done. They've been twice. They've lost and they won, so they get it. The Eagles, yes, they went in 2018, but they haven't been with Jalen Hurts or half the team that they have now or Nick Sirianni. So this is all new to them. Another thing, like Mahomes' injury, yes, but Jalen Hurts was just as injured.
Yeah, he's been awful.
Yeah. He hasn't been playing well. Mahomes has been playing better with a bigger injury than Hurts has. So, I don't know. Yes, everything, like every position pretty much sides with the Eagles besides tight end and the most important quarterback. So, I think Mahomes can get it done. And I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Mahomes as an underdog is like almost undefeated.
I also, on my own show, did 25 $5 prop bets for the Super Bowl. So
yeah, just little fun ones.
I've got some fun ones in there. I've got like some first quarter money lines and stuff like just throughout. And
you have some first quarter money lines?
Well, I have a money line and then the over-under. Yeah, second quarter money line,
I see.
Quarter money lines. Got the halftime showdown on lock, got the Gatorade bath, got the coin toss. Opening kickoff's going to be a touchback, all that good stuff. So
okay, well, why don't you tell us? What do you got?
The list is extensive for this one.
Okay. Well, just tell me the Gatorade color.
I'm going lemon lime. I know that it's kind of plain. It's kind of the favorite, but I think it's the favorite for a reason. The thing is, when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, it was orange.
Yeah.
So
and when the Eagles won last time, it was lemon lime. So another thing, I was listening to part of my take yesterday, and they had Lane Johnson on, and PFT was like, "Oh yeah, like talking about staying hydrated on the field." He's like, "Oh yeah, what do you drink?" He's like, blah, 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 says some stuff he's probably sponsored by. And then he's like, oh, yeah, well, what about Gatorade? Like, you have Gatorade on the field? And then he's like, yeah, like, we got Gatorade. He's like, oh, yeah, what do you drink? He's like, yeah, well, you just have the bottles, like the clear stuff. And he's like, no, like in the jug. Like, what do you drink out of the jug? He's like, oh, like the yellow one. He's like, oh, okay. So like hypothetically, if you were to take the jug and dump it on a coach, you're like, yeah, it'd be yellow because that's what's in the jug. And then they all start laughing, and then he got it. So he kind of leaked it. So if you're going Eagles, that's the bet.
And because I'm on the Chiefs, I'm hopeful that they're switching it up from their last time. But we'll see
Have
what
you guys
Andy
been
Reid
able to
likes.
find a bet? I have a question. Have you been able to find a bet where you can bet on the first team to score wins the game?
I feel like I've seen it. I can't remember which book it was on though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the rundown of all my props.
Okay.
Tails for coin toss. Yes for a
Yes.
touchback. Game to be tied after 0-0. Yes. Team to score first is Philly. Team to score first wins is a no, because obviously I'm on the Chiefs. First field goal on or after 15 minutes played. So they're basically asking you, like, is there going to be a first quarter field goal? I said that there is. First Kansas City touchdown is going to be Pacheco. First Philly touchdown is going to be A.J. Brown. First quarter money line, they're going to be tied at the end of the first quarter at plus 340. Under 9.5, because I think it's going to be 3-3 at the end of one. The first coach's challenge is going to get overturned at plus 106. They're going to get it right. We got first half total under 24.5. First half spread is Philly because they'll lead at halftime, but then Kansas City comes back in the second half. Opening song is Run This Town by Rihanna. You know,
that's pretty good one.
So
I
had that one too, and I heard someone was leaking the script on that, saying that she was confirming that. Someone who worked, who is working the Super Bowl halftime show said that is the song. And I went.
Are they going to void bets then?
Well, I went to go place the bet because I didn't place it yet on FanDuel, the only place that I seen it available, and it's not there anymore. So it was like plus 500 or something like that.
I had it plus 300 because it was the favorite when I bet it, so I'm happy with that. She's gonna finish with Umbrella,
man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. She's gonna finish with Umbrella, so she's either gonna start with Umbrella or finish with it.
Yeah,
and I think Hedge better have my money. I think that's probably the one.
Jersey number of the last touchdown score is going to be under 11.5.
Dude,
what kind of bet is that? What the fuck?
So
I was thinking skill positions. You're basically just banking on it's not Kelsey and it's not Goddard or Mahomes. Yeah,
pretty
Other
much.
than that,
Mahomes, I don't think is going to get one.
No, I don't think so either.
He's not going to
have to scramble for one.
Yeah, he's not going to have to go for it.
Will there be an octopus?
Oh my god!
Do you know what that is?
This isn't Detroit.
I just found out yesterday what that was.
I found out as well because I was really confused. I was like, "This isn't a Red Wings game. Like, why are we worried about octopus?" And then you have to score the touchdown, and also the same player scores the 2-point conversion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing it at plus 1,300 because it's just fun, and that pretty much pays for the night if it happens. So I'm good there. Second half total over 25.5 because I think it's going to be a shootout in the second half. Kansas City spread in the second half at plus 100. I do think most turnovers is going to be Kansas City, despite the fact that they're going to win, because I think that Philly's going to run the ball too much for them to turn it over, whereas I think Mahomes could get picked off at some point. So there's that one. Kansas City money line straight up at plus 105. Mahomes will be Super Bowl MVP at plus 116. Game total over 50.5 because it's lower scoring first half, but then shootout in the second to go over. Lemon lime for the Gatorade bath. And Mahomes, because I have him as MVP, who will he thank first? He's going to thank God because he did that at the end of the AFC Championship. So I'm banking on him starting off with that at plus 220.
It's always God or family. And then it's friends.
Family's plus 500.
Because my thought process is you thank the city when the city's been starving for a championship, but neither of these teams, they've won recent Super Bowls. So they're not going to thank the city necessarily right away.
Mm-hmm. What about
my thought process?
That's the big favorite.
So I've got 25 $5 bets. We'll see how I come out at the end of this. I'm assuming I'll be down money because
I thought you said I have $5 25.
No,
And I was like,
25
okay, that's not bad.
$5 bets.
And I'm like, okay, Ken, this is getting a little long here.
So we've got everything that we like for the day. Go enjoy some NHL, some college basketball, whatever it is that you want to tune into. Shout out to Bet on Banana for coming on today and helping us through some of these plays. Go check him out on Twitter. Also check out Spittin Picklets at Hedge Pod for Competitive Hedge Podcast. Appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream today. We're back next Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I actually might be in your neck of the woods next Saturday, so I might be out for a stream next Saturday. I'm heading out to Revelstoke for a bachelor party, so I'm probably out for next week. But we'll be back in a couple weeks' time for the stream. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you guys next time.